Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1276. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, plus the news segment called Matthews News. And you know, you can call me at 336MM Daily is the number. In fact, we take a phone call. Mike's Daily Podcast. You ever heard that expression? You don't want to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Were you that guy? Mike's Daily Podcast. And I guess sometimes it's okay to be that guy when things are happening that make you cry. And you have to get out what's inside and say, hey, stop that. Or that's my Mike's Daily Podcast suggestion, or my song, or one of, maybe it's both. I don't know. It's Cafe Daily. I don't know. Podcast. Cafe Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Would you have free food if free food was offered to you? Would you eat the free food if you had to sit next to someone that was eating really loudly and breathing really loudly and just, I don't know, would that put you off if you heard like eating sounds and all that? If you're sitting next to someone, I knew somebody whose sister, he told me, he goes, yeah, I hate eating dinner with her at the dinner table because even when she's eating mashed potatoes, she's making crunching noises. How do you make crunching noises when you're eating mashed potatoes? I said, are the potatoes cooked? He's like, yeah, it's mashed potatoes. The potatoes have been mashed. There's nothing crunchy there. Everything that's crunchy has been mashed. That's my question to you. Would you eat next to that person? John McCain is trying to be that person with Trump and call him out on certain things, but then he can't call him out too far because he doesn't want to get voted out of office. Doesn't that suck, being a politician? Like, he so wants to tell Trump to jump in a lake, but he can't because look who just walked in, because he wants to get reelected. Even at his age, he still wants to get reelected. That's the thing I don't like about politicians. Hey. Hello, my message, Madame Rootabega, and I on Café Anyway. Ooh.
Anyway.
You do. You gonna do anything with it? What do you mean? You gonna do any? Are you gonna sell it? No, I like it here. Even though sometimes you are slightly annoying. I am? Yes, because you come in here and you sing a song about being that guy, whatever that means. I have no idea. Ooh. Sort of like that expression. Have you ever heard that expression? No. Oh. All right. I thought that expression had proliferated all facets of society. Assets of whatever. Look who else walked in. Cafe whatever.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we're gonna start a third party.
A third party. Do you know that? That's right, a third party. Who's gonna be in this third party?
No politicians at all. Nobody that wants to be in politics. And finally, there'll be people that are zombies.
That sound effect went a little bit before. You should have said that before the sound. Anyway. I enjoyed listening to a podcast. Wait, don't tell me. NPR makes it. I'm not happy with every podcast NPR makes, but Wait, Don't Tell Me makes me laugh. And apparently Tom Hanks was a big fan because he appeared on a show. He was the host of the show. He took over for Peter Sagal a few weeks back, and it was brilliant. Tom Hanks was so funny. And, you know, a lot of that show is pre-written. He's reading off of a script, but he was also improvising like crazy. Oh, Tom Hanks. So I just want to tell you that there was some leftovers from the place that had free food, and we brought it here to Café Anyway. So we're a little bit in a food coma today. Michael Matthew, I didn't eat that thing of it. Oh, more for me then. Finally, yes, you can call us here at 336 Daily. Let's take a call. Here comes the call. The call is coming here now.
Mike Podcast, this is Mike Matthews.
There it is.
Calling you because I wanted to remind you that you can call Mike's Daily Podcast at 336 Daily.
I was just talking about that, Mike. 336
Mike Matthews Daily.
Mm-hmm.
But that couldn't possibly be a phone number.
No.
So just shorten it down to the initials.
Okay.
336 Daily. So cool.
That was very cool. Wow. I wonder who that Mike Matthews is. So there's another award show? Is there another award show this weekend?
And the Oscar goes to
Michael Matthews. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, I don't know. I can't watch award shows because everybody's reading teleprompters. That bugs me. Do you like the teleprompter? Some people can't tell if people are reading teleprompters. That's not my thing.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Okay, I think we're pretty much done with today's show. Oh, except for the podcast picture is from a couple days ago. The rain, it's still back. It's back, but I think we're going to get some sunshine very soon, so that's good. I think my house is about to just turn into a big puddle of water and wash away. And this is a picture from the day I was walking and the clouds were coming in. See that picture now at mikesdailypodcast.com. It's exciting. Also check out all the other past interviews that I've done and the past podcast pictures, and you can help out the show. Click on the Amazon link and buy whatever it is you're going to buy on Amazon. That helps us out too. There's also the PayPal if you'd like to help us out that way too. All that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Special greeting from all the Café Anyway characters too. Will come your way. I had a lot of food. I mentioned the food thing. Okay, let's move on to this interesting topic about our world in which we live in. Have you seen that commercial for the tissue test? Are your teeth white enough? I don't know. What do I do to find out? Try the tissue test. The tissue test? Yeah, get a piece of tissue from a tissue box, take it and put it right next to your teeth. If your teeth are as white as the tissue, you pass. What happens if I don't pass? You die. I kill you. What? No. Yes. I Jeff Dunham kill you. I don't get it. Well, you will die. No, really? Is that what will happen? No, not really. But if the tissue will help see if your teeth are white. What if I grab accidentally one of those yellow tissues? Sometimes they make yellow tissues and put it up by my teeth. When I go to the doctor, they sometimes, if I sneeze, they give me a yellow tissue. Well, then you don't pass. What if my teeth are yellow and... Well, I don't know. Can I kill you now? No. There should be no death in the world. That's true. Then we'd all be zombies. Okay, let's get to that segment I was mentioning.
Matthews News.
Hey, there's a couple of things going on in the world. One of them is that there was apparently a contentious interview Tuesday. Why do I always miss the contentious interviews? Jake Tapper of CNN clashed with Kellyanne Conway, the presidential advisor you've seen that looks a little like Dennis Leary. They clashed over whether the White House or the news media was more indifferent to facts. The journalist was bracing on Wednesday for a backlash from the right. While the 25-minute interview touched on issues like the confirmation of Betsy DeVos. Did I call her Betsy Lou Ross yesterday? I did. So she's, education secretary now. President Trump's relationship with Vladimir Putin versus Putin of Russia, the bulk of it. Wait, it's Did I just... What? I got confused by the writing. Vladimir Putin's middle name is V. Donald Trump's middle name is J-H-T. It's a Ralph, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin love each other. The bulk of it focused on Mr. Trump's scathing criticism of the media and the administration's penchant for repeating falsehoods. The interview was frequently testy, and Mr. Tapper's performance was widely praised by those seeking a more aggressive approach to fact-checking the Trump administration. But then, Axios, citing an anonymous source, reported that Mr. Tapper would now likely be a target for hit pieces from at least one conservative news site. The Times was unable to independently verify the report, this coming from the New York Times. Mr. Tapper, however, appeared to welcome the critics, tweeting that he would just wait for attack dogs to come at him as ordered. Ms. Conway's CNN appearance came amid growing questions about her credibility after she falsely spoke of a Bowling Green massacre. That never happened, and used the phrase alternative facts to justify the administration's view of the truth. She repeatedly corrected the Bowling Green error and apologized for it on Tuesday, but reports later emerged that she had previously invoked the non-existent episode in an interview with Cosmopolitan magazine, which did not print the quote, by the way, and with TMZ. Some critics are calling on cable news outlets to bar her from appearing on air, and CNN declined to have her on as a guest this past Sunday. Mr. Trump added, this coming up Sunday, I guess. Mr. Trump added to tension with the press by accusing news organizations of playing down or declining to cover terrorist attacks. They don't want to talk about it, you understand. They got their reasons. I don't understand that at all. Why? What are the reasons? Why would the press not talk about terrorist attacks? If it bleeds, it leads. It sells more papers. It gets more viewers. It gets more ratings if they talk about the crazy stuff like that. The White House on Monday issued a list of what it said were 78 unreported attacks, but several news organizations, including the New York Times, where this comes from, provided evidence to the contrary. On Tuesday, Ms. Conway used her airtime to question the focus and tone of more recent news coverage. Without citing examples, she criticized descriptions of Mr. Trump that lacked a certain respect for and recognition of the dignity of the office of the president. Well, I think it's pretty obvious he has totally sucked all the dignity out of the office of the president. It's just obvious. I record a guy, I mentioned last week how I record a guy who's in his 70s, who's very pro-Trump, very conservative. And yesterday, he always has guests on. And yesterday he had this guest on, and usually his guests are very pro-Trump. And so the host of the show said to the guest, hey, and this was all off, this wasn't on the air, this was just off mic, as we say. And he said, hey, so Trump's doing a good job, huh? And the guest said, he is a disaster. What do you mean? Well, let's talk about how he wants to bar all our business dealings with other nations, with this travel ban, this protectionism thing, this trying to go back to the 1950s thing. This is not how it's going to work. We live in a more and more automated world. We should embrace that and get ready for that. That's a big thing. Someday I will be automated. No, I won't, because there are aspects of my personality. I think it will take 1 billion years to make an algorithm for my personality. It's all over the place. Try that, computers. We have assimilated you, Mike Matthews. You are now one of us. One of us. One of us. Oh, okay.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Holy crap. Amid a swirl of police investigations and ethics probes enveloping Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and his inner circle, a budding scandal over contracts for new submarines and other warships appears to be gaining momentum as another potential threat to his political future, according also to the New York Times. For weeks, the police have been carrying out an inquiry into the circumstances surrounding Israeli contracts with a German shipbuilding company for the purchase of submarines and new missile ships that Netanyahu championed. His personal lawyer, David Shimron, also represents the Israeli agent for the company, which has led to accusations of a conflict of interest in contracts that involve billions of dollars of business and the shape of Israel's defense strategy. Mr. Netanyahu ousted a defense minister by the name of Moshe Yaalon last year, and he was against adding the new submarines. This, according to recently given testimony. Adding to the gravity of the case, Israel's Supreme Court has agreed to hear a petition calling for the shipping affair to be the subject of a full criminal investigation. On Wednesday, Netanyahu filed a 45-page response to the court ahead of a hearing scheduled for March 8th. In it, he argued, through a different lawyer, that the petition should be dismissed on grounds it had been brought by a publicity-hungry politician with ulterior motives who based their claims on questionable press reports and were trying to usurp the Attorney General's authority. Even as a weekend, Mr. Netanyahu has been making concession after concession to far-right politicians on the issue of the West Bank settlements in recent weeks. In a bid to retain his conservative constituency, some within his coalition see the pileup of cases involving the Prime Minister and his close associates as a political liability. A criminal indictment against him in any of them would likely force him to resign and prompt early elections. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcast Valley. Well, that show is all over the place. Sometimes it's going to be scattered. But you know what? That's okay. Because we will bring it all back around for the Friday show. We'll bring it all back. Maybe, possibly, maybe not at all. Next show, we'll hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Enjoy your day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!